joining us today. I just want to start this conversation off by saying I will be pouring me a bottle of rum because we are talking Trump. And I'm talking with someone. David, introduce yourself to the folks.
Um, I named Damon Clark, alleged conservative. More so look at myself as a centrist, but you know,
Okay, and we met way back like in the day. I was doing a documentary for this MMA club. I think that's where we met, right? We met at
correct.
yeah,
At a show, you were doing the video work for a show.
yeah. So I recently I post a lot of anti-Trump stuff on my Facebook page, and
And I know you post a lot of leftist stuff on your page, not necessarily anti-Trump. It's a lot of stuff that you post with a leftist rhetoric.
well, I'm a liberal. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm more left than moderate, but I'm not all the way to call myself a progressive. But I think I'm flirting with it. That's kind of where I'm at. Now, where would you say you're at on the left-right spectrum?
Like I said, I'd say I'm more so a centrist, but I guess the way the way things have been going lately, I guess you could say I'm a centrist that leans right more so than left. But I'm not closed-minded to leftist to left ideas. I have a lot of friends that are on the left. I was raised in a Democratic household, so I'm not opposed to the left. It's just the right is more so what I've been resonating with the problems and everything in society.
Okay, I would love to have that conversation though. So yesterday, I know like a lot of my friends on Facebook started tagging you and a bunch of stuff. I mean, I had
Here's the thing. I wasn't running away from that. I wasn't running away from that conversation. But do you remember the comment where I said an actual fucking Canadian?
yeah.
I was banned for 24 hours from Facebook for that, so I wasn't able to comment back. Like, I wasn't able to say anything. So it was like, I hope nobody thinks I'm running from the conversation because I'm used to being attacked. I don't want to say attacked, but I can't think of a better word right now. But I'm used to being attacked by multiple people on the opposite end of the spectrum about my opinion. So it wasn't that I was running from the conversation. It was just I couldn't comment back.
Okay. Now, you know, how was your vote? Will this be your first time voting in an election? Who did you vote for last time? If you don't mind me asking. And then let me hear like your voting record.
Last election cycle, I'll go back to the first time I was legally eligible to vote. It was Obama's second term. Of course, I was probably gonna. I was in school at the time, so I didn't have a chance to come home and vote or whatever. But again, of course, not being open-minded and exploring my own options, I was just going with people were telling me, so I probably would have voted him. This last presidential cycle, I didn't vote. I have this theory where I go, I don't vote a lot of presidential terms because I've lived through Clinton, I've lived through Bush, I've lived through Obama, and now I'm living through Trump, and my neighborhood has gotten significantly worse through each. So presidential candidates isn't what makes the difference in my neighborhood. It's the mayoral votes that makes a difference. It's the proposals that affects Detroit that makes a difference. So I'm not necessarily I don't necessarily vote on presidential elections. So that was one of the things where, like when you ask me why do I choose to support Trump as a black man, it's not that I support him. It's not that I'm anti him. It's just I have my opinions where I don't feel like he's as bad as people make him out to be.
Okay. Okay. How are you? Are you involved locally in politics? Like, did you vote for Duggan and Detroit? I think. Did you? Are you involved locally?
I did. I voted for I voted for both Dugan and Whitmer, and I don't think either one of them did has been doing a great job. So I'm waiting for 2021 to try to get Dugan ass out of there. It's like a lot of stuff that's coming out about him with like things that he's doing in like the housing market and stuff. It's just like, damn, this guy more fucked up than Kwame, ain't he?
I mean, he's still not in jail, so I would say, I haven't lived in Detroit probably for 6 years now. I moved like 2014. I moved out of Detroit, and I'm in Atlanta now. But I would say before I left, this is right when Dugan just got in. I saw some change. Like there was light, like he did the light the light initiative, where it was a street light every like 150 yards or something like that. And I remember they put a light right in front of my house, and I was very happy because I used to park my car in a very dark area. So I do remember that. I haven't kept up with it and seeing how he's been doing. I know there was some issue with the blight issues and things like that. So you don't vote in presidential elections. Are you planning to vote in this one?
Uh, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I don't. Like I said, I don't have a horse in the race. Like I said, I personally don't feel like Trump is doing a horrible job. Like, but I don't have a horse in the race right now. Like,
Okay. Well, I'm asking because you defend him quite a bit, but then yesterday when I asked you to come do this, you sent me a message saying like, "Hey, I'm not 100% a Trump supporter." So I wonder if you're not 100% a Trump supporter, why I feel the need to defend his record or defend his job right now.
so the thing is, when I say I'm not 100% for Trump, what I am 100% against is false narratives. Like, I don't like, to me I'll say this one thing, like for example, like one narrative that people push about him is, oh, Trump is a racist, he's a raging racist, and it's just like, well, when you're asked to substantiate that claim, there's absolutely nothing behind it. So like I said, it's not that I feel the need to defend him. It's just, if you have an issue with him, if you have a legitimate issue with him, we can talk about that all day. But because there's a lot of things that there's some things that you can honestly bring to my attention where I go, oh, well, you're right there, and I don't completely disagree with you. But if you're coming at me with a false narrative of, again, him being racist, or he could have handled COVID better, or he didn't do a good job with the way he handled COVID, it was like, oh, well, no, that's not
a false narrative.
I do, because in a sense of, I always answer that question with the question of, if he didn't do a good job, tell me a better job he could have done.
Well, I guess the only thing we can compare it to, because that's a hypothetical. So the only thing you can really compare it to is other countries who face the same issues and seeing how they handled it. And you can use kind of common sense saying, well, let's say, for example, South Korea, who, and I could pull up the numbers, I believe they're around 300 or 400 deaths. Same coronavirus. They got it at the exact same time as we did. And it's 51 million people in a very dense area in South Korea, and only 400 of their citizens passed away. Now I think their cases every day is at a steady low level. So there is, and then you can look at Canada as well. So we can't say hypothetically what could have been, but we can definitely look at the actions that he took and say, oh, well, that could have been a game changer. I mean, just knowing that it's a deadly virus, February like 7th, I believe, and coming out February 27th and saying it's just like the flu, but knowing that 20 days before he said this was way worse than any strenuous flu. So he did know the information, and he did have the knowledge that we did not have. I remember I was working downtown Atlanta, and I was in an office building. February, we were still like, I don't think they said black people can't catch it. Like, we were still like in the rumor phase of coronavirus. It didn't hit us yet. And then March 14th, they said we can't come back to work. You're working from home now. So, I mean, he did know how bad it was. Do you think that would have made some difference by being straight with the American people, saying this is a deadly virus and we're going to get over this?
Well, see, there's a few things like that. There's a few things to unpack there. One, I'm gonna start with a question. Do you believe that in America the COVID numbers are inflated?
If I say they're inflated, I would give it 20,000. I would give it 20,000, which means, I have this argument with people, and I say, okay, let's half the number. If we half the number, we're still at 100,000 deaths.
Well, there's no way to just say, oh, well, let's just half the number, because again, we don't know exactly what number. We don't know exactly what is a specific COVID death now, because it's like for example, like the whole George Floyd incident. At one point, they wanted to credit that as a COVID death.
I think that's a false narrative. I think some of this, you're saying you're against false narratives, but a lot of this is a false narrative.
No. But see, I was saying that as a point to prove, like, wait a minute, hold on. His death was officially ruled as overdose. Now, granted, again, there's things there, but whatever. But originally, you guys tried to pack on that as a code. The thing is,
His death was officially was a homicide.
no. It was officially ruled as a overdose.
We can Google it. I believe it was because they wouldn't be charged right now if it was officially ruled as an overdose. They wanted to do it, but they didn't.
It's okay. We'll get to that conversation.
Like I said, we're all millennials. We can just like the thing is with this fake news thing, is like everyone has a phone. And I guess the thing is, where do you get your news from and where do you trust your news from? For me, for example, I do a lot, I like a lot of international news. I like to hear from people who don't have any stake in the game. And I like people who just give news stories with no follow-up. How do you feel about this segments? You see, it makes a big difference when you watch the news without that how do you feel segment. And it's like 8 people talking about how they feel. All that is to meant people to get their own feelings across. So we got people think with a lot of emotion and not thought. But we can look it up. I believe it was a homicide, but that is a false narrative that you're pushing. So if you're against false,
no. You're wait, hold on a second. You're calling it a false narrative, and here's the thing: I don't disagree with it. You're 100% right. That is 100% a false narrative. But the point that I'm getting at was originally they tried to push that.
Right.
Yep. Okay. I thought you had froze for a second. Okay.
No,
Originally it was trying to be pushed as a COVID death. I'm not saying that it was right now. I'm saying the point that I'm getting at is the amount of inflated debt. Here's the thing: the amount, like the funding that hospitals get in conjunction with a COVID death makes them inflate more. It was a story in Michigan. I'll find the article and I'll send it to you. There was a guy who he attempted suicide, right? Attempted suicide, but he died in the hospital from his suicide attempt. But he had COVID in his system. So they attempted to accredit that as a COVID death when it was a death in conjunction with his suicide attempt. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so I get what you're saying with the whole.
How many of those instances do you think is really happening? With the number we have now, we're over 200,000. How many of those instances do you think is happening across the country? 90,000?
It's hard to say. But like I said, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Like somebody have an asthma attack but they have COVID and they die from an asthma attack, but they have COVID in their system. Well, I mean, it's still COVID because COVID attacks the lung.
But do you agree there are people dying from COVID? Just COVID?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but no. Yes, I believe there are people that are dying from just COVID. Do I believe there are young people with a previous bill of let's not call it perfect. Nobody has perfect health, but a previous bill of good health. There you go. Do I believe those people are dying from COVID? No. Do I believe what they told us in the beginning? The elderly or the immunocompromised are the ones who are most susceptible to death with the virus. Yeah. So if you can look at the numbers and go, oh well, this person oh man, shit. Hold on, I'll pull it up right.
Based on what you said, real quick, we'll look it up later because it takes away your screen when you Google while on Zoom.
Okay.
So based on what you said, though, healthy people can get it and be okay, but older people get it, they may die. It
has like a 94% survival rate.
Even Trump said, true. I mean, true. Like this thing does kind of pick and choose who, because you can have it and not know it. I want to go take a COVID test.
I want to say they say like 87% of people are like asymptomatic. Give or take a few, but I want to believe it's like 87% of COVID people with COVID are like asymptomatic.
So where does the community responsibility come in, though? Like, I feel like a lot of these anti-maskers, I don't know if you're an anti-masker, if you wear your mask out, or how seriously you take it. But my thing is, I
wear my mask out, but I hate it. Like, I hate wearing that damn thing.
Anyone likes it. Not only anyone likes doing this. I don't think any liberal, the liberal of the liberals, is not like, oh, I get to wear my mask today. But knowing that it is a chance that you can have it, not know it, and spread it. You can survive it, not even know you had it, but you can spread it to others who it may affect. Trump said on tape, oh, if you're the wrong person and you get it, you got no chance. So the fact that he knows that certain people can get it and have no chance, how do you feel about him holding these super spreader rallies this close to election time just so he can have this cheering crowd for him? We both agree that COVID can kill people, the right people, that it is a chance to die from it if you're the right one.
I don't know how you want me to answer that question. Do you want me to say, oh, you're a bad guy, you shouldn't have rallies, like you shouldn't campaign for your presidency? Like I mean I don't really understand like how to answer that question.
Okay, well I'll ask you in this: put yourself, you're president right now, Damon. You're president. You know you got information that this is an airborne virus that can go from person to person to person. With one sneeze, so many people can get affected. Some might live, a good number might die. Would you be holding rallies shoulder to shoulder, no mask? This far in, you have reported 200,000. You believe it's inflated, so you think it's really 80,000 or 90,000. Would you still continue to go to state to state to state and have large rallies with people shoulder to shoulder, no mask?
Yeah, I would probably still have my rally, but I'll probably have PPE requirement.
Okay, so then you will give protection gear to all of your supporters.
Or I'll require that they come with their own.
Okay, so you will require a mask inside the place.
Yes.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing.
No. Would you pack them in as tight? He's doing like 6,000 people shoulder to shoulder. Would you limit the numbers to 1,000 or 2,000? How would you handle that?
That's hard to that's a hard question to ask me personally. But again, me personally, I don't know. I'd probably still have them. Yeah, I'd probably still do it.
But you would require masks.
Yeah.
So then you would do one more thing that this president is doing. You would actually require people to have masks on.
At the rallies, yes.
Okay. So here's the
thing. Yes, at my event, yeah. Listen, would I require that everybody at all times wear masks? No. That's for example, that's like people who say he should have just required that all states shut down. All states didn't need to shut down, as you can see. Like, I want to say, like, I know for a fact Florida is only shut down for about a week, 2 weeks. Like, New Hampshire, I don't believe shut down at all.
They're at 14K right now, passed away.
Well, again,
I mean, how many lives do we lose before people be like, all right, this is getting out of hand? I had a discussion with one other person that said, cancer takes around this much and this do this much. And I asked him, I challenged him. I said, well, can you find me any other virus out right now that has taken these reported amount of lives in the time frame that it is?
Well, you can't. Again, like I said, that's why it's so tough to argue this thing, because it's like, well, if we believe the numbers are inflated, if we believe if there are hospitals that's going, every death that we have, if the person has COVID, we're gonna accredit it as a COVID death, regardless of what happened. You come in with 16 bullet wounds and you got COVID in your system, you die from COVID, as far as we're concerned. So. How do you?
I think that. Sorry to cut you off. I think that's a false narrative, and I know you said you don't want to push false narratives, and I do believe that is a false narrative.
But no, it's not a false narrative. It was a hypothetical.
Okay.
It was a hypothetical. I'm not saying that's what's happening. Like, oh, people coming in, they've been shot. No. But there are situations where it's just like, that wasn't a COVID death, but you counted it as one. So. With that being said, and then you factor in the fact that, this also is a virus that has a 94% survival rate. It just America, I want to say worldwide, it's maybe like 97. I know in the country it's like 94. So it's like when you factor that in, it's like, well, how do you want us to react to it? It's like, do you want to push that it's like this super, and then not to mention that, I'm sorry, my phone keeps going off here. Not to mention that, like, we're finding out more and more about the virus each day. Like, it's like it damn, dare I say, still evolving at this point.
Yeah. Oh, I think everyone feels your frustration. I'm frustrated.
How long were we told by the World Health Organization, masks aren't important? Oh, this can't even be transferred by human contact. Was it Nancy Pelosi was downtown New York talking about, come on down to Chinatown, let's have some egg rolls, we'll have fun together, be shoulder to shoulder. Like, and this was after Trump had declared it give me the word, I'm sorry, it's escaping me right now, a national emergency.
Okay.
It was after Trump had declared that a national emergency. This was around, like, I want to say, like, February 26th, something like that. So it's like,
No,
when you're going off of
I don't think it was a national emergency. It was a national emergency like March 14th.
Okay. If it was March 14th, I want to say it was March 17th is when Pelosi was in Chinatown.
I'll have to check. I can't confirm or deny.
Okay.
I know, but I think everyone kind of got information. Like I said, the first couple of months of 2020 was trash. We lost COVID, then we started hearing about COVID coming in, and there was a lot of rumors. Even the media got it wrong. A lot of people got this stuff wrong.
I don't even think it's fair to say the media got it wrong. I say when you're dealing with a communist government like China that's picking and choosing what they're deciding to put out about the virus, I think it's real hard to get it wrong.
Trump talked to President Xi, and he said, "Oh, I think he got it under control." He praised them. He praised them big time, saying that
was this before or after President Xi came out and said, "Oh, well, you know what? COVID probably didn't even come from here. It came from 2 American soldiers."
I can't say exactly where it came when that timeline happened, but I know Trump is on the record giving him high praise on his job and how he handled this COVID thing.
Here's the thing. I don't want to say right or wrong on that one because I don't know. I would actually send me the article, the link, or the video where he had. I haven't much heard Trump say anything positive about China in general.
I'll send you the links. It's there.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay.
This was, a matter of fact, the Bob Woodward tapes. Have you heard the Bob Woodward tapes?
I haven't.
Oh, wow. So where do you get your news from?
CNN and Fox. I'll say CNN and Fox for the most part.
If you get your news from CNN, they play the Bob Woodward tapes like a goddamn mixtape. Like it was like playing WAP on the radio. Like they played it.
I'll see a story on CNN. This is what I'll do. I'll see a story on CNN. Like for example, God, again, this is a reach, but for example, like the Breonna Taylor thing, I see it on CNN, and I'll go see what Fox is saying about it, and then I'll go look for like a local story on it to kind of get that. Okay, CNN is left leaning, whereas Fox is right leaning. So it's just like, okay, you got the leftist and the right side of it. Well, let's see if I can get like a local report that's more down the middle. Like you see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's definitely how I like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my left-leaning news sources that I like to watch. You know, they make me feel gooey inside. But then I also like to go to international news. I like to look for independent news. I like to read the independent articles and things like that that really takes away the bias and just tell me exactly what happened. And when you get, it's like with CNN and Fox, what they do is they break a story and then they have 4 people ready to talk about how it makes them feel. No one's really talking about it. They say this is the news and this is how we feel about it. So, I mean, and that's always going to get people emotions involved. It's the same thing wrestling does. I'm a big wrestling fan. It's the same thing wrestling does. So, I mean, I would highly encourage to go and find some independent news sources. So, because CNN is very left-leaning and Fox is through the roof right. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but Fox can't really call themselves a news station. They have to say opinion-based news and things like that because a lot of their stuff is opinion-based. It is not.
I mean, but can't we say the same thing about CNN? Anything Don Lemon reports is not.
I'm not going to defend CNN, but I think as far as who try to deliver just news, no problem. Whoever tries to deliver just news would be CNN. I would say give the edge to CNN a little bit more. But they both are guilty of this. Let's talk about how this makes us feel thing. MSNBC the same way. Let's talk about how this makes us feel. So a lot of news is such a small part of their shows now.
Right. You know what? I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm aware of how mainstream media try to move people and engage people and things like that. So I'm definitely aware of that. You want to take a break real quick?
No. We're good.
Okay. So let's talk about. So we talked about COVID. I mean, we kind of agree to disagree. I'm happy to hear that you're not an anti-masker. We agree and disagree on the numbers.
Listen, bro, I can't be an anti-masker. I work with an Asian chick that decides to take her mask off and sneeze. I can't be an Asian. I can't be an anti-masker.
Okay.
It's disgusting. She don't cover her mouth or anything. It's just.
Yeah, I think masks definitely. I mean, masks suck. No one likes masks. So you said false narratives. Well, we're talking about Fox and CNN. What's your feelings on Joe Biden? You said you're a little bit more right leaning, but you still feel like you're still in the center. What is your feelings on the Biden Harris ticket?
Here's the thing. Okay, so one, I think when Democrats elected Biden to be the president, to be the rep for Democrats, I feel like they pretty much handed the election to Biden. I mean, to Trump. I think the same thing happened like with Hillary. I feel like once she was I feel like, okay, so when Hillary was elected, if Bernie would have ran in that spot, I feel like more Hillary supporters would have went for Bernie than went for Trump. But I feel like more Bernie supporters would have made that swing to Trump than made it to Hillary. And I think that's the thing with Biden as well. I just said that guy's name like 9 times. I'm sorry. Listen, I had this thing with I be fired on like 9 different cylinders.
Bernie supporters will go over to Biden?
Yeah. I feel like more Bernie supporters are going to go to Trump than to Biden. That was one. I feel like Biden has more so centered his campaign around identity politics. Oh, well, we'll give black people this, or we'll make sure black people have the right to vote, or we'll make sure we don't take away the right for black people to vote. Okay, whatever. We're gonna give everybody universal health care. Well, everybody don't want universal health care. Like we don't like we pay different prices for insurance for a reason.
Are you talking about Bernie's plan or Biden's plan?
Well, Biden has been staunchly for universal health care.
No, he ran against it.
He did, but no, he did, but he's not now. Everybody,
he's not universal health care. He's not running.
He is.
No, he's not. I promise.
He said it.
I promise. He's running to make Affordable Health Care Act better.
Listen, unless like his ads are getting it wrong, and I'll be fair to you and say, yo, I haven't sat down and heard an interview where he said it, but I've definitely. Come on, we both got YouTube.
No,
you can't click on.
I follow Biden. I follow Biden pretty closely. I listen to all the speeches. I watched his Black Summit speech. I listen to a lot of his speeches. He's not running on Medicare for all. I think Medicare for all is a more progressive kind of like Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. Harris was for Medicare for all, but Biden ran against it. He strongly kind of opposes Medicare for all. He think ACA, the American the Affordable Care Act, is the way to go. That is the best way to get healthcare. His goal is to make sure everyone has access to healthcare. Bernie's goal is to make sure everyone has healthcare. So Biden's kind of view one is a little different.
That's interesting. Do you believe people now don't have access to healthcare?
Not everybody, no.
How?
I mean, good healthcare. I mean, that's the thing. Good healthcare. It's not the same system like how Canada is set up, where everyone does have access to healthcare just because you're a Canadian citizen.
But isn't that subjective? Good and what's good and what's not good healthcare? Isn't that subjective?
No, it's like facts. Like if you go to a doctor who is overworked because he has too many clients and is bogged down too much, you won't get good healthcare. You're going to get rushed through the system. You don't have like when you have healthcare through your job or good healthcare through your job, you have that one physician.
Okay, I think you know what I think it is. I think we're talking around each other here. I think when you say good healthcare, I'm thinking you mean policy.
Who?
I'm thinking you mean policy, a good healthcare policy.
Yeah, just the access to it.
By good healthcare, you mean access to a good doctor or a credible medical facility to attend.
Right, like with me,
Okay,
like I got good health care now, but at other jobs that I had, my health care was trash. Like just because of the amount of payment, like just the amount of money. Healthcare in America is not cheap. Canadian citizens don't have to worry about the same prices that Americans have to worry about. We pay more for healthcare than any other country by a large amount.
but on certain depending on how you look at it, we also have access to better healthcare because we
Not
pay more.
necessarily.
Again, like for example, like I want to say Stephen Crowder. You ever hear of him?
No, if I did, I'd
He's
never call him.
yeah, he's a conservative. He again opinionated. He has an opinionated show, but he's a Canadian. I want to say he said there's about 20, a low number. I'll say that. I'm not comfortable putting the number on it that he put on it because I can't remember. I don't want to say he said there's only 50, but then there's only 30 or so. There's only a handful of MRI machines in Canada. So I use that like I know the one guy was just like, what the hell are you talking about? It was just like, no, I use that as an example for a reason. Like here, if I need an MRI, I don't have to wait 6 months. If I have the money or the proper insurance, I can go get an MRI tomorrow or within a week. Within a week, when you're waiting 5-6 months, and this was a completely anecdotal example where he was using his mom as an example where, yeah, she needed an MRI, had to wait and got on the list and had to wait 6 months because of universal health care there. We don't have that issue here. We have like the fact that we don't have
it. If you can't afford it, you just won't get it.
That's fair. That's fair. But the fact that most people like the fact that most people do pay out of pocket and it's not exclusive to everyone, the fact that we don't all have the same thing is why I feel like more money is being washed through the system, and there is better resources to provide that health care.
So my thing is with this, if we're the greatest country on the planet, we're the most financially rich country on the planet, why can't we look at the Canada system and say, okay, we see a lot of parts that do work, let's improve on the parts that don't work, make it our own, and guarantee healthcare to all of our citizens, not dependent on your income.
Because here's the thing. If I'm working and I get healthcare through my job, why should I have to work for my healthcare and someone get it for free?
What if you get fired?
Then I get
what
fired.
If a recession hits and you can't find work for 4 months and you get a bad feeling in your stomach and you need to make sure to get checked out? Shouldn't you still have the right to health care?
Wait, that's the big misconception. You do
without having a bill for it later.
But see, that's the thing. Nothing is free.
But shouldn't your taxes that you pay every day out of your check every week, shouldn't you be able to lean on those taxes if you're in between jobs?
Well, see, if I get fired, then I'm no longer paying those taxes, am I?
But you were paying those taxes, and shouldn't you be able to lean on those in the times when you're between jobs?
It's one of those things like insurance. You can almost look at it as a thing of you're damned if you have it, you're damned if you don't. Well, shit, I got a job. Like for example, I'm uninsured right now because I was insured through my last job. I was full time. I'm not full time where I work at now.
So you're uninsured right now. You're still defending the billionaire healthcare system.
I'm not defending anything. I'm understanding of it. Like here's the thing. I feel like people when they're against something, they play this role of, well, I don't understand how people can do that. No, I completely understand how it is.
Yeah.
So,
go
ahead.
I was gonna say it's a capitalist system that we're in. We're a capitalist society. So everything has to have a dollar sign, including our education, our healthcare, anything that we want good. It's a classism type thing.
Well, see, here's the thing. But see, everything is classified by class. For example, like if you pay $3 for your steak and I pay $30 for mine, should we get the same quality? Will we have the same quality? Should we get the same quality? No. Like if you want better quality,
America, shouldn't we have access to the same quality?
Yeah, we do have access to the same quality. We just have to pay for it.
Not dependent on on where we're born or things like that. Like for example. No. Born in South California, and they have rich parents, and someone is born in poor Wichita, Kansas, in a poor community, because they're American, shouldn't they have access to the same healthcare?
Here's the thing, they do. They just have to pay more. It's more hurt. It's the same thing when people go.
If I'm poor, I can't pay more.
Well, pay for what you can afford. That's the thing.
So then you believe that we shouldn't have access to the same health care as
No,
Americans
no, that's not. But
based
see,
on our income.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we all do have access to the same health care. It just costs more for us. Others have to come out of more to get it.
You know, we're
There's
the
a
only.
hurdle for others.
Do you know we're the only country this year where people went bankrupt due to medical bills? The only country in the entire planet where people listed bankruptcy and they listed the reason why was medical expenses. Why
I
do
can
you?
believe it.
But why do you
I
think
can
that's
believe
so?
it.
Why do you think that's okay? Like that's the norm. That's what we've been doing. Why do you feel like that's okay and we can't do something better? I mean, you just seen Trump. You just Trump announced a $100 billion platinum black plan, which is pandering. You seen him announce that he's doing $30 billion for Puerto Rico, so close to the election. I mean, I'm doing a lot of pandering stuff. So he's pulling this money out of nowhere. And he's just saying we're going to pay for this and we're going to pay for this. You see the stimulus plan came, that was in the trillions, like that came out of nowhere. So that we do have the money.
Wait. But see, here's the thing. I guess that's my issue. Where I say pushing a false narrative. When you go, well, the stimulus package it came like this out of nowhere. Well, with the stimulus package how it came had COVID not hit?
No.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that COVID came out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say like, oh, it just came out of nowhere, yes, exactly. The stimulus package came quick because he had to deal with something quick.
But you know, Canada has around I think it's like $2,000 a month they gave their citizens for 6 months.
Listen, I'm pretty sure it's a backlog to that somewhere. Here's the thing, because I don't know about what you're saying. Like I can't sit up here and say you could be. You can be 100% right, and I don't want to attempt to debunk something that I don't know anything about. Like I would love to do the research on it and possibly come back on, another day, and we can talk about it then. But I don't want to attempt to debunk something I have no.
I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. This is like the thing, like you said, false narratives, and it's like I want to make sure whoever's watching this know that there are countries who are doing a better job at handling this pandemic, and that if you do the research and you look at it all on a bracket type level, Trump will score the least. He will.
But see, here's the thing: what are they doing? Like I hear you. I hear you when you say there are countries that are handling it better. What are they doing that's better? Oh, well, they're giving their people more money. Well, I mean,
it's that. They're enforcing the mask. They're making sure they're being honest with their people, saying this is a deadly disease. We do need to pull together. You do need to wear your mask, and we're going to get through this. And I know you can't work, so here's money to help make sure that nothing, that you're okay as a Canadian or as a South Korean or as a Italian or anything. It's only here in America where our president denied and tried to downplay this virus to the point. And a lot of his followers, a lot of his followers are kind of conspiracy theorists, and they do push out a lot of these inaccurate stories to coddle this president. I never seen a grown man so coddled by
That's crazy coming off of Obama. Look,
I don't coddle Obama. I have my issues with Obama. Trust me.
I would love to have that. I would love to have that conversation with you one day. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. I lost my question. I'm sorry.
I think I was just talking about. I just haven't seen anyone coddle the president so much, and his followers are kind of conspiracy theories who are pushing false narratives.
Okay, I had a question. There was a question in there, but I lost it. It was I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. So this election season is coming up. I don't think I got your you say you want to talk about the race wars. I want to make sure we have the time. We talked about a false narrative. We talked about Trump. The one thing on your list was race wars. How do you feel about the racial tension in America?
I feel like it's being perpetuated through the media and it's causing an uproar. I don't believe that racism is. My opinion on racism, I don't believe that America is in inherently a racist country. Do I believe that people on an individual level have some racial tendencies? Yes. But again, I feel like a lot of those, take one black guy and throw him in a room. Take one black guy and throw him in a room with 10 white guys. He's gonna be very uncomfortable.
Not Cameron. They got Daniel Cameron. That's the AG for the Breonna Taylor case.
I guess I don't know. Why do you say that?
That's just. I think it's the rub. The rub started to kick in.
Yeah, I just don't believe that America is innately, inherently a racist place. Like,
why do you feel that way? I mean, you're from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Detroit is a mostly black city, and let me tell you, like the moment I left Detroit, I went to Pensacola, Florida, and I realized kind of what racism was. Detroit is a mostly black city. White people kind of stay in the perimeter or they stay downtown, but when you're in the city, you're really around your own kind. So have you traveled outside to the South at all? Have you traveled around the country and kind of experienced things?
No, but I have traveled to the outer skirts of the further outer skirts of the city, the Shelby Township, places. And if I'm being honest with you, I have gotten my
Macomb.
Yeah, I have gotten my looks or whatever. But here's the thing, right? I feel like it's one thing to call somebody. Quick off topic here. Are you a battle rap fan?
A little bit. I'm not. I can't name MCs, but I could definitely watch it.
Okay, Hollow to Die. He got a line where he said that it's easy to develop that large picture when you focus on the negatives. So, for example, if I go out to like a Shelby Township, or if I go out to like what you say, Pensacola, Florida?
Yeah, I went to Pensacola.
If I go out there, whatever, and I'm getting looks or side eyes from an old white guy or white people in general, it's real easy for me to look at them and go, "Oh, you just don't like me because I'm racist." But I mean, am I fucking wolfish because I see a wolf? If I see a wolf run down my street right now, am I like do I have something personal against wolves because I don't want to go anywhere near it, or I'm just not used to seeing that? I feel like people need to understand that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to. It's your natural inclination to feel what you don't understand. And I feel like what a lot of black people don't do, they're not honest with themselves and go, "Oh, well, shit, when I'm not used to being around white people, I'm not used to being around white people, and I'm just as uncomfortable around them as they are around me." So, but we're quick to label them as a racist when they're uncomfortable, but we're not willing to admit our uncomfort with them.
Okay, well, we never said that they can't eat at our counters, make them go through a back door, make them use a different bathroom,
I get it. You do it.
Say they can't be in a concert with other white people, or beat any of them for whistling at a black woman. We never had an image.
Come on, you're above that.
Kind of moment.
You're above that. You're above that. Come on, we're so far removed.
I'm asking, like, we never was in a position where we could put into law to discriminate against another race.
Yeah, but again, that's fair. But again, we're so far removed from that. We're about 40, 50 years removed from that.
That's not far. That's not far.
It's far enough. It's far enough to where. It's far enough to where me and you shouldn't be complaining about it. It's far enough to where those rhetorics wouldn't necessarily touch us.
Okay, so I lived in the South now for probably six years. I lived in the South. I lived in Pensacola. I lived in Orlando. Orlando is heavily Hispanic, heavily Latino, so it's definitely a different vibe. Pensacola is pretty much Alabama's butt.
Florida in general has a large old white population. I hear a lot of old white people go down there after they retire.
My experiences, I have seen people fly the Confederate flag on their trucks. I have heard white people use the N-word. I have heard crazy stuff. I'm mixed, right? A lot of people don't know what I am when they first see me. I'm black and white. And so I do kind of have privileges where I can kind of dip in and out of conversations, private conversations. And I have been privy to a lot of open conversations with average white people, and I kind of understand, for the most part, how they see African Americans, and that's young white people. Now, there are a lot of old white people 40 or 50 years ago who was only 10, who's 60 now, who their parents taught them that is, bad things about black people. That's how racism gets passed on, is that people are passing it down. And we can't be ignorant that there are organizations that are set up to be against black people.
For example, like what?
I mean,
like
the
Black Lives
Proud
Matter?
Boys, the Ku Klux Klan, all the neo-Nazi groups, those are in rise since the Trump administration.
I'll give you the Proud Boys, but the Ku Klux Klan and neo Nazis are, and I'm only giving you the Proud Boys because I don't know a lot about them, but
they're the new Klan. That's why Trump is coming out saying that he's going to say the KKK and Antifa is a terrorist organization, because the Proud Boys are the new Klan. KKK is dead in the white supremacist eyes. That's just my opinion. That's not a fact. So you don't think race is a big thing in America? You don't think race plays a big part?
Do I think no? I don't believe racism is a big deal.
You're more of an all lives matter type person, other than the Black Lives Matter type person.
Here's the thing. I feel like Black Lives Matter sound good and it look good on the shirt, but I feel like as an organization, no. I feel like it's crap. And no, I'm not gonna sit up here and act as if one life because the color of their skin is. Here's the thing. Again, another Black Lives Matter, another battle rap reference. It was a battle rapper QP. He go, I don't scream Black Lives Matter because I take one. So it's like, coming from where I'm coming from in the background where I'm from, I consciously can't say that, because inherently, if my life is going to be taken, it's probably going to be taken by a black person.
That's real.
So it's like, I mean, now here's the thing. I was having a conversation with a ex-girlfriend and her mom one day, and they completely wrote me off or whatever. And I was willing to give them, where y'all letting y'all life, that may be a big deal. Like, you may think being pulled over by a white cop is just going to be the biggest problem you'll ever face in your life. Me, on the other hand, every time I've been pulled over, it's been white. It's been by a white guy. Every time I've been pulled over, it was by a white guy, and he's had a reason. Yo, my man, you doing 60 and a 40? I literally only pulled you over to stop you. Other dude, hey, it's a construction zone. You're doing 45 and a 25. I felt like you was being a dick. The only reason you getting a ticket. Only time I've ever been pulled over by a black guy. Hey, man, you had your seatbelt on? Yeah, I literally just took it off to get my wallet, like out of my pocket, to give my license. Oh, yeah, man, I just seen you. I seen you take it off. I just want to make sure you had it on. That's damn near harassment, bro. Like, you pulled me over for nothing, if that's the case. I wasn't speeding. You seen I had my seatbelt on. You literally just said it. So why the fuck did you pull me over to ask me if I had it on? I didn't get that dude a hard time or anything, but again, I understand how some people at some parts of their life, I get it. Maybe a white guy is a problem. Like it is the biggest threat you'll face. But if you look at the numbers, no. Majority of the deaths and
go ahead. No, finish your thought.
Majority of deaths in the black community are committed by black people.
No,
majority of crimes against black people.
So my theory is this on race in America. It's not really a race thing. So I will agree that I think people are saying racism and they're using that, but what I believe is a classism thing.
You sound like my brother, and I swear to you, we're going to agree on every step of this argument you're about to make. I don't believe it's white and black. I believe it's rich and poor. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's rich and poor. So here, let me pull it up real quick. There's a quote by Lyndon Johnson that I like to kind of quote from time to time. And let me know how this quote resonates with you. But pretty much, I'm going to send it to you. What he's saying is, you can tell the lowest white man that he's better than the most accomplished black man, and you won't have to steal his wallet. He'll give you his money. So it's not that, it's not a real race thing. It's just telling people that they're better than these other people will keep them focused on the other people and on the others, and not focused on the guy taking the money out. For example, Steve Bannon, whatever the hell his name, Steve Bannon, just got locked up, got caught taking money out of the Build the Wall fund, because he's telling people we got to keep these Mexicans out, so give me money and I can help do it. But he's taking money out of that fund and spending it on whatever he want to spend it on. So, I mean, this just goes back, and that's what obsessed me with Trump. He does a lot of 1960s dog whistle racist rhetoric, in his speeches. And I think if people don't do the history to know what happened before, you can't recognize it when it's happening now.
For example, like what?
Back in the day, we used to take them out and we used to do something a little different to them back in the day. Like all that stuff when he said black protesters would go to his rallies. We got to keep our heritage. Our heritage is most important. Our heritage, you, us, we got strong genes. The way he speaks is very coded in a way for white supremacy. He does others. They are coming from. They want to come to our suburbs. They want to come and burn down your buildings. And they. That is very dangerous rhetoric. That has been used by third world dictators in the past for many of years.
Is it fair to say that when you go looking for something, anything you find, you're gonna run with?
No. It's really just doing your research. You research Hitler, you research Mussolini, you research them just to get to know about them. I knew about Mussolini and Hitler before Trump. And when I start to see Trump, I was like, whoa, hold up. And I get a benefit of the doubt. But then
wait. Here's what I don't get though. If Trump was so inherently racist, why was the black community doing so well before COVID? Why was Jesus Christ, hold on a second.
If Trump was so racist, why was the black community doing good?
Yeah, before COVID.
Because of Obama.
How?
I can pull up the stat for you. I think it was around 2012, 2013. Obama initiated the Recovery Act, the jobs plans, and things like that. If you go back and look at this chart starts up here, and then under the years of Obama, it keeps going down. Under the years of Trump, it keeps going down. It was already on a momentum. It was already on a move before Trump. It wasn't like Trump came in and the number was here, and then when he came in and went down, it was already on that pattern. So
no, but see, you can't because through Obama the lowest the unemployment rate in the black community hit was, I want to say it was 8.6.
But
he got
the
to 3.7
that he put in place kept that momentum and driving it down. Trump has taken credit for every good thing Obama has done. And he got rid of the things that he didn't want. The reason why we're in this pandemic now is because Trump dismantled the pandemic task force that Obama left behind. Trump said he didn't want people sitting around not doing nothing, collecting a paycheck. So he dismantled.
Because my brother just made that exact argument. But what were they doing? What were they? Listen, that task force, what were they doing before he dismantled them other than getting things wrong?
Huh? Not the task force with Fauci and things like that. Obama, when he left office after the Ebola and H1N1, he left a pandemic task force in the White House. He created it and said, you are here for the next one. Whatever next one pops up, you get a handle on it. Trump dismembered that group, said that people are sitting around getting paid for nothing. And then a pandemic hits, he panics. I'm going to say this, Trump was not man enough to handle this task. He didn't know how to really handle it. And I think that's obvious.
I don't see how you say here's the thing, we keep finding our way back to Trump and the
You're right, we're going back to the pandemic. Let's go back
but I actually love to keep talking about that because you keep you say it's like you're saying a lot of things where it's just like it's almost unsubstantiated where you're going he wasn't man enough to handle it. Tell me what he did wrong.
He lied to the American people.
Listen, he said it wasn't a big deal. Like you said, I downplayed it in my words, but I upplayed it in my reaction.
Can I share something with you?
Shoot.
All right, give me 1 second. I will bring up YouTube. I want you to hear, since you said you haven't heard the Bob Woodward tapes, I would love to play some Bob Woodward for you real quick. And I'll edit around this part.
Through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You know, the touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. it's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff. Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
Bob, what?
All right. So I want to hear the reporter. How do you feel about that? February 7th, before there was a panic about it, he knew that it can be traveled through the air.
Do anything good come out of a panic?
You don't have anything to worry about. We have it under control. Like that's pretty much what he was saying. But he didn't.
Listen, we know that. It's like, here's the thing. We know that, but at that time, shit.
How would you handle? We asked you earlier. How would you handle rallies? You're the president, Damon. You're the president. You know there's this deadly virus coming in from China. It hasn't hit our borders yet. February 7th, March 14th, as we all know, was the day of national emergency where everything shut down. So March 14th, that it's 5% deadlier than the flu. It can be caught in the air. That it's deadly stuff, as the president said. You got to talk to the American people. How would you address it?
I wouldn't address them and say, "Hey, yo, run, bitch, run. This shit go kill you," type of thing. Like it's like
no one said you had to. That's not how doctors deliver cancer news. Doctors don't come into the office and say, "Oh, you got cancer, run." No, that's not what they do. They talk to you and they say, "This is serious. We have to get to work." How would you handle it if you knew already it was deadly?
Again, I'm with him. I still would have downplayed it. Again, if your end goal was to not create a panic, I still would have downplayed it.
But this is when there's only 5 cases. This is only when it was only 5 cases. It wasn't a lot of cases.
5 confirmed. 5 confirmed.
5 confirmed cases, probably 100 not confirmed.
Because I might say because there are stories that possibly it possibly got here before that, but.
So you think the president did a good job on knowing that he had the information before us. Mind you, February 27th, that was February 7th. I played the first part. The other part was March 19th. March 19th is after when everything shut down, and he said he still liked to downplay it. March 7th is when he said he know it can be caught in the air, it's deadly stuff. And then he said in that March 7th tape, it is more deadlier than the flu. And then February 27th, he said it's not as deadly as the flu. It's just like the flu. He even asked someone, can the flu vaccine work for COVID?
There's a question in there?
Knowing that he knew that information, do you feel like that 20 days between February 7th and February 27th, knowing that he knew the information, he got that from President Xi, that information, do you think it's one thing to create panic, and it's also one thing to lead. I don't think he did either of them. I think a leader kind of keeps it straight with you and say, look, we have something that's going to come here. We got to do our part to make sure it doesn't spread. But it's very small right now. And at this time, it already ruined Italy. Italy had 35,000 deaths. So I already knew how deadly it was.
I get the argument you're making, but I don't think I can completely agree with you. I still don't completely agree with it. I still don't completely agree with the rhetoric because it's like, again, with the ability of hindsight, you're going, well, looking at what it did now, he should have said more about it. But again, at the time, it's easy to say. I don't know. Yeah, I guess
that's all I want to say is like, you said you wanted to talk about false narratives and understand that Trump is the main pusher of false narratives. Anything that, I'm going to tell you what Trump's way of arguing. If you call him a liar, he's going to call you a liar. If you call him a piece of shit, he's going to call you a piece of shit. He's going to double negative it to make it seem like you can't trust either one of us. That's his game. And that's what he does with the media. That's what he does with the news. He doesn't like getting pushed. I'll send you a video of his deposition during Trump University, where it's him just talking to a lawyer. And you see how he deals with being pushed. He doesn't like it because liars have to rethink about their lies in order to say it again. So he doesn't like when people ask him for straight, direct answers. He wants people just to take his shit and call it a day. That's my viewpoint. That's how I view Trump. So I hope. I view it the exact opposite. I know, like a lot of the stuff that I've seen from Trump has been he's straight up listen. You want to call him a dick? You want to call him a dick? Call him a dick. You want to call him a bully? Call him a bully. But one thing you can't call a man is dishonest. Like I feel like I can. I definitely can. That's the one thing I can call him. I'll call him.
Wait. Here's the thing. Wait. Here's the thing. Right. Here's the thing. That's like if well, I can't say son because I don't have any kids.
When can you classify someone as dishonest when you can't lie, right?
Hold on. Wait. If my nephew asks you, if my little brother asks me for some money and I tell him I'm broke, but then I slide him $20. If I'm telling you, hey, this isn't a big deal, but I'm taking precautions to treat it as if it's a big deal, which more do you want to believe? Do you want to believe my words that it's like, well, you said it wasn't a big deal, so you lied to me? It's just like, well, on this point, I declared it a national emergency. On this point, before when I tried to shut down, when I tried to make a travel ban, when I tried to have a travel ban in China, and I get it. People like say, yo, that was before COVID or whatever, so that had nothing to do with it. But it doesn't matter if he would have put forth the travel ban when he initially tried to. Maybe that could have helped something. Not saying it would, not saying it wouldn't have, but I put forth the travel ban. Like I said, I declared it a national emergency. The one thing that I hear people say that he should have done that would have made COVID, that probably could have dealt with COVID easier, he should have shut down the whole country. When I personally don't believe he should have, because again, like I said, different states, like it was on a state by state basis. I don't believe he should have required all states to shut down. So you can say he's dishonest, you can say he did, but it's like his words may be, but his actions aren't.
No, I disagree. He's one of the most dishonest people I've ever seen in public office. 100%. He has been caught on numerous of lies. And I think if you do open yourself up to
politicians lie, though. Politicians lie. I'm not gonna take that one away from you. Politicians lie.
No, I think every president lies. That's not.
I think everybody lies.
I think everybody lies, but
rationalizations, lies you tell to yourself to make you feel better. White lies you tell the people to make them feel better.
Okay.
End of the day, everybody lies.
I'm gonna tell you this. Trump has lost many lawsuits. He has many depositions out there lying on the record. He is a known liar. Okay. For example, Michael Cohen, his former fixer, had a story about how Trump had an auction coming up, and there was this painting of Trump that was this beautiful painting, but he wanted it to go for more than anyone's because he's obsessed psychopath. He's very narcissistic. He's very big on his image. So he had Michael Cohen take money out of the Trump Foundation so they can bid on his own picture. So then what he did was Michael Cohen, I think everything else was going for like $5,000 or $10,000. Michael Cohen put a bid for this picture for like at a crazy amount. And then what Trump did on Twitter was, wow, can you believe that they spent this much money on my picture? I'm so happy. So he's a very much an image fixer type person. It's all about the image. That's why he didn't want the testing for COVID to continue because it makes the numbers look bad. He's not a real.
Wait, no. I don't agree with that. When did he ever say he wanted the numbers? He wanted the test for COVID to.
You want me to show you?
Sure.
Okay. One moment. I mean, that's the thing, man. Like the stuff is out there, man. Like all this stuff is out there. All you got to do is be able to kind of peek around that corner and out that bubble and say like, oh, wow, he did say that. Trump, stop COVID test. I mean, this is stuff that's available to everybody. And like, he's just a liar. I don't know what to say. Here we go. Slow the testing down. Fewer tests means coronavirus cases. Let's just put this one on. Get another ad.
The good part is the stock markets, because we know what we're doing. The stock market's ready to move. Never went down like a lot of people said, wow, it's at 24,000. It was 29,000. It never went down like people would have assumed because they know what's happening. They know Smart people, a lot of smart people. They know what's going to happen. We're going to have an amazing next year, one of our best. But we had the greatest year ever, and then we had to turn it off, artificially induced. We had to turn it off. And if we didn't do that, we would have lost 2 million people instead of, whether it's 95,000, 100,000, one is too many. But we would have lost 2 million people, maybe more than that, maybe somewhat less. But think of it, even if it was a little less, multiply what we have by 20 or by 15 wouldn't be acceptable, wouldn't be sustainable. People would have said, what's going on over here? Multiply as bad as you've seen it. And you know, you can say what you want about the flu, but I've never lost anybody to the flu that I knew. I mean, I've had people, friends, they have the flu and they're sick, they don't feel good. And you call up, how you doing? You know, 3 days, 2 days, a week later, they're fine. Nobody ever said they died. But I've lost 5 people that I know. 2 people were very good friends of mine. And you call up 2 days later, how are they doing? Sir, they're in a coma. I said, they're in a coma. Now, they were older. I wouldn't say they were in the greatest of health. I wouldn't say their weight was perfect. Not perfect. But they're gone. So it's just a terrible, terrible thing. In my administration, we believe in 2 beautiful rules. Has ever done. We've done double what anyone else. If you add up all of the countries in the world, we've done more testing than all of the countries in the world added up together. Nobody's ever done anything like that. And we have the best test. We have tests that 2 months ago didn't even exist. Or great companies came up with things, Abbott Laboratories and so many others. They came up with things at Roche. They came up with things that nobody even believes. So we have the best testing in the world. It could be the testing's, frankly, overrated. Maybe it is overrated. But whatever they start yelling, we want more, we want more. You know, they always say, we want more, because they don't want to give you credit. Then we do more, and they say, we want more. But we have the greatest testing in the world. But what we want is we want to get rid of this thing. That's what we want. We want to get rid of this thing. This afternoon, I also have great news on that testing. America has now conducted its 10 millionth.
He called test overrated, and there is a clip, bunch of clips, where he says,
No. Context. Don't do that. Context.
No, we can definitely talk about it. That was just the wrong clip. But even in that clip, he said he lost people. And I'll send you the clip, and I'll make sure to add it at the end of this episode, of him saying we need to slow the testing down. It makes us look bad when we have more positive tests. So even there, he said tests are overrated. He said he lost 5 people to COVID. And I don't know when that date was, but he knows how dangerous this thing is.
No. Again, context. When you're looking for something, you're going to find it. That he didn't say maybe. He said you're looking for him to say something wrong. He didn't say, "Oh, the tests are overrated." He said, "And could the test be overrated?" No. He said we have the best testing in the world, and could the test be overrated? Maybe, I don't know. It's what he said.
I will find the clip, the exact clip I have in mind. I think it was an interview he did in the White House where he said we need to slow the testing down because the more tests, the more positives, it makes us look bad. So he thinks that because they're testing so much is making our coronavirus numbers go up, but he doesn't put the context together that no, more people have it and they're getting tested, and that's what's making the numbers go up. He's an image-based president.
I won't argue. I won't disapprove or approve of that until I see the video.
Okay, I'll send you the video, man. But I'm gonna wrap this episode up. I'll definitely get that video over. Even if you vote for Trump, and this is probably against my better wishes, my better approval, I still hope you register to vote and practice the democracy that was fought for our people to make sure we can vote. So I definitely encourage you to still register and vote. Also, man, I'm not trying to say I'm on a high horse and I'm right and I'm wrong or you're wrong. We're all Americans. We come from the same city. You know what I'm saying? We come from the same city. And I just hope that hopefully you do a little more research on like Mussolini black coats, Hitler's red coats. Look how Hitler rose to power. And this way you can recognize the fascism speech that Trump does on a daily basis. And in my opinion, he's the biggest threat to our democracy that we have ever seen in this country before.
I hear that, and I say I want to thank you for having me on your show. But I'll say, like, just how you say, me open my lens a little bit, I say maybe close yours a little bit to where you're not looking at everything as such a racial or a dog whistle type of thing. Because I personally believe when you're looking for stuff, you're going to find something. I believe there's a lot of times where things aren't there, but people they dig so deep and go, oh, well, he said this, and this sounds like something such and such had said before. I personally don't have anything against, like you said, like I think we're from the same place. I think part of the reason why America is the greatest country on the planet is we can have these disagreements, we can have these arguments, and we can have these conversations without being censored. So, like I said, I appreciate you having me out, man, and hopefully you can have me out again, and maybe we'll like have a better track of where we're going, because I feel like we were kind of everywhere this time. So I feel like maybe next time we can have like a better track of where we're going. And like I said, man, I wish you the best, man. Good luck.
Say to you, boss. Say to you, man.
Thanks for having me out, man. Hey, when you post, like, how does this work? Like, do you post it to YouTube? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, I posted to YouTube and Facebook. I got like a good 30 to 40 people who watch. So it's just something that it's like therapy for me more than anything. And also, I think it's better to have these conversations kind of over Zoom or face to face and not over Facebook, because you see what happened last time. A lot of people got involved with the conversation.
Right.
So I always, and that's kind of how I started the show. Everybody that I've interviewed so far is people that I debated on Facebook. And I just wanted to take those conversations offline and kind of have it more personal, and because things get lost in translation sometimes in text. So that's the whole purpose of it. So thanks for helping this experiment last a little longer.
Okay. Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that one. Feel free, like any of your listeners who have a question about me or how I feel free to shoot them my way. As you can see, I'm not a stranger to debating or talking to people. So feel free to send them to me. I have no problem. Or if they have a question for me and you want to ask, I have no problem answering it. So I don't do the whole podcast or anything like that type of ordeal. So
Hey man, we're all just trying to live the best life we can, and that's everyone's American dream, just to have the best life that we can. We just may disagree on certain things, and it's always good to have these conversations. So, like, for example, like you say, you never heard the Bob Woodward tapes, and I'm like, man, those are like, just for me, when I heard them, I'm like, oh, this is the thing that kind of ends this dude, and he was able to. I'll give Trump this. He know how to bob and weave out of a corner quickly. I would hate to be one of his wives, because I know it had to be hell to hold him to something.
I know a lot of people that was against him was, oh, Trump isn't a politician, he's a businessman. I'm like, damn, politicians find their way out of corners, don't they? Look like he's doing a good job at least he's getting that part, right?
Getting that there, but he is a failed businessman. He lost a lot of money. He was the only man so far who lost $1 billion in 1 year. So I just gotta dig it in one more time because look at his track record. He's trash, bro. He's really trash.
Well, I guess we got our next talking point. How good of our next conversation, I should say, how good of a businessman Trump may or may not have been.
All right, no problem. Have a good one, man. Thanks again.
All right, take it easy, man. I appreciate you having me on.